Imagine navigating a world where stepping outside your neighborhood was like walking through a labyrinth of invisible yet extremely dangerous tripwires. Now step into the shoes of Victor Hugo Green, a humble mail carrier in Harlem who dreamed of safer journeys for fellow African Americans during these treacherous times. Join us as we discuss the history of the Negro Motorist Green Book. And if you like stories like this, you can find stories like this at onemikehistory.com. Also, if you like to support the channel, you can do so by Buy Me Coffee, Patreon, in the description below. But without further ado, let's get started. In a land gripped with the iron fist of segregation, simply traveling could be a perilous adventure. In 1936, the United States was a divided country with Jim Crow laws that cast a long shadow over the lives of African Americans and turning road trips into risky ventures steeped with fear and uncertainty. Victor Hugo Green, knowledgeable about the countless stories of African Americans being turned away from white-only establishments, envisioned a life-saving guidebook. His ingenuity created the Negro Motorist Green Book, which was a beacon of hope in the form of a little green booklet. John and Mary are an African-American couple that hit the road in a shiny new Ford. The sun sets as they arrive in a small Alabama town, only to face rejection after rejection at every hotel that they approached. Exhausted and disheartened, they would turn to the Green Book as a salvation in these tough times. Within these pages, they found not only addresses, but the promise of safety and respect, a guest house where they could rest without fear. Victor Green's guidebook was more than a collection of addresses. It was a lifeline. It provided reassurances in the face of Jim Crow laws and sundown towns, which were towns where Black folks had to leave before sunset. Civil rights leader John Lewis recalled his family preparing for a trip in 1951. There was no restaurant for us to stop at until we made it out of the South. So we took our restaurant right there in the car with us, stopping for gas, to use the restroom, took careful planning. Uncle Aldous had made the trip before, and he knew the places that would offer colored bathrooms and which were better to pass by. Our map was marked and our route was planned that way by distances between service stations where it was safe for us to stop. The Green Book's foreword in 1956 had poignantly captured this reality, stating that white travelers had no difficulty finding accommodations, but with Negro, it had to be different. Victor Green knew that his creation had to be more than just a guidebook. So with every edition, the Green Book listed more safe havens where African Americans could reclaim their right to explore America. The inspiration for the Green Book came from an unexpected source, a small guidebook meant for Jewish travelers who also faced discrimination at many vacation spots. Victor was moved to develop a similar guide to empower Black travelers. The first edition of his brainchild was a modest catalog that only listed New York hotels and restaurants where Black patrons were welcome. But Victor wasn't content. He craved a revolution on wheels. In his Harlem apartment, he painstakingly expanded the scope of his guide by gathering field reports from fellow postal carriers and offering cash rewards for valuable information and tapping into an extensive network of the United States Postal Service, which was one of the largest employers of African Americans. Victor Green's Green Book swelled with thousands of establishments from all over the country that were vetted for their respect and service to Black travelers. As the postal network buzzed with secret insight, the Green Book grew. By 1940, it was more than just a directory. It was a powerful manuscript. It wasn't just about finding a place to stay. It was about reclaiming your vacation, the joy of travel. Hungry motorists passing through Denver could find hospitality in a Dewdrop Inn. Thirsty wanderers in Atlanta could uplift their spirits at Yeah Man or Butler's. And women in need of beauty rest in Richmond, Virginia could do so at the Rest a Bit Inn. Victor's books removed the narrative for Black travelers. No longer did they need to worry about where they would find a hot meal, a clean bed, and a smile. They urged Black travelers to carry your Green Book with you. You may need it. Victor wasn't just offering advice, but a map to freedom in a very segregated world. The Green Book's reach went beyond hotels, and restaurants, but also included beauty salons, nightclubs, and resorts where Black families could vacation in peace, each listed meticulously arranged by city and state. As echoes of the Green Book's masterpiece spread, the guide didn't just help travelers navigate physical roads, but it reshaped the social landscape, recirculating wealth within the Black community. It united Black-owned businesses and celebrated figures like Booker T. Washington. Over its lifespan, the book sold more than 15,000 copies annually, distributed through the mail or through churches, but also at Esso gas stations, which were owned by entrepreneurs who saw the potential in serving Black clients. In a 1937 edition would set you back just 25 cents, but by 1957, it reached $1.25, which is about $14 today. In an ironic twist, it was the civil rights movement that led to its decline. By that time, even white businesses had begun to recognize the Green Book's importance. By the mid-50s, it had piqued the interest of major organizations like the American Auto Association, airlines, and even some libraries. However, as state laws began to change and the Civil Rights Act of 1964 made the necessity of the Green Book less and less important. In the final edition, released right after the Civil Rights Act, it was entitled The Traveler's Green Book, 1966-1967, the International Edition, for vacation without aggravation. It was more than just a booklet. It was a testament to struggle and progress. The cover now featured a Caucasian woman, symbolizing a broader, more inclusive vision, but they stayed true to the original mission of guaranteeing a safe and enjoyable journey for all. Thank you. This has been One Mic Black History. I'm your host, Country Boy, and this is the story of the Negro Motorist Green Book. If you like stories like this, you can find more stories like this at OneMicHistory.com. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, you can do so on my Buy Me Coffee Patreon page in the description below. Like I said, all my Patreon subscribers, I love you all. Without you, none of this could be possible. And peace.